By 1337, the age of the Crusader kingdoms had already come to an end. The fall of Acre in 1291 erased the last true foothold in the Levant, and with it the kingdom of Jerusalem itself. At the start date of 1337, there were only 3 Crusader states left in the world: the Knights Hospitalier on Rhodes, the Teutonic Order, and the Livonian Order. These were not realms of settlers and cities, but military orders sustained by faith, discipline, and memory of what had been lost. The Hospitaliers had once served in Jerusalem, protecting pilgrims and tending to the sick. They had held the line in a land that was never destined to endure. Now, driven into exile, they had seized Rhodes from the Eastern Roman Empire in 1309, establishing a new stronghold in the Mediterranean where they stood as the last remnant of that Christian world in the Middle East. The exile had not ended their Crusader purpose, it only changed where it would begin again. As was said in the intro, we will be focusing on the Knights Hospitalier this run. The Knights Hospitalier has an interesting playstyle. It starts with 10,000 manpower, but if we look here, there's no manpower. Okay? So we have a big immediate starting bonus with this. We are also very clericy heavy. This is due to being a Crusader nation. When we have a Grand Master, we're not a monarchy, we are a theocracy. Yeah, we are a theocracy. So we have devotion instead of legitimacy. Started with Crusader Knights and a traditional galley. So on the opening moves here on our advances, we are going to want to immediately push towards devotion of the to the Virgin Mary, which will give us stability investment. Then we will want to move to the special, unique advance for the Knights Hospitalier, which will help us reinforce our army quicker. And then we're going to want to go for diplomatic capacity. This one's going to be very important. We'll start with our rivals. As a duchy, we can rival 2 nations. We will rival these 2 on the coast. Just looking at... this looks equal. If you look at our cultures, this looks very equal. But it's not, from what I can remember. I believe... yeah, there's barely 16% French on this island, because, as was said in the intro, when we were exiled from the Holy Land, we stole this from the Eastern Roman Empire, so it is still a mostly Greek provenance. Most of these French are just nobility that we brought back with us. Also others that fled the Crusader Cyprus, literally the descendants of the last kings of Jerusalem. May it rest in peace. If we look at the culture map mode here, there is not much reason to stay French. Even in these like other areas, it's still a very, very bad minority. In fact, we're the most French thing in this entire area. If we convert to Greek here, we will be able to save on a lot of rebellions in the future. We will make this our primary culture, which is going to put us into some negative stability, and it's going to lower our devotion. So what we will do is immediately focus on stabilizing our nation, and maybe just, yeah, getting as much of this back up as we can. It shouldn't take too long. Now we are over our diplomatic capacity. We'll slow down our cabinet, but it should be okay. Once we take this area of land, or maybe further up, we should be able to solidify our gains, and then from there we will get more Greek within our nation, and then it will just equal out more, and it will lower the cost to accept this culture. We should be okay here. This is what I'm more worried about. But we have very good conversion ratios just because we are a theocracy. Now there's a unique playstyle for Crusader nations. You can request military sponsorship. Now immediately right off the bat we can go and get that from the Pope. I want to, before that though, improve opinion with France, the Pope, because it's the Pope, and when we can we will do Hungary next. We'll get these very, very large nations, maybe Castile, and then we will go around and we'll ask for military sponsorship. Now we will sort this out, who is best for what. Let's say him, and obviously him. I was just checking to see if he also had the highest diplomatic, because if he has the highest diplomatic ability, I want him to be assimilating rather than stabilizing, regardless of military capabilities, because the assimilation is a lot more important. We need that to go fast, so then we can switch to converting provenance to Catholic. This is just something we're going to have to live with, unfortunately, for a while. I will turn on these, so that should find us general. Then we're going to want to lower these, go minting. Oh, that is already up. Okay. That's not the best. Do this. Stability, diplomatic. And then the fort in Rhodes, we're going to destroy it to kind of try and save our economy as much as we can. Yeah, just until we get some sponsorships from these larger nations. So I'm going to let the game play for a bit. Okay, they are also rivaling us. That's great. That means that we can use the attack threatening rival casus belli or destroy enemy casus belli, which are both. I don't want to say strong because they're not strong casus belli, but they're not bad ones. Like, say if I was to do religious war, it would cost more than, you know, attack threatening rival. I'd be able to conquer a lot more with this. Okay, so we've got the Turkish threat. This is obviously about the Ottomans from these nations, the Seljuks that, you know, were here, created Rum, Mongol Empire, that whole business, and then splintered off with the fall of the Mongols. Okay, we've got the second event. This is about the Italian politics between the Holy Roman Empire and, you know, the Pope for dominance over the Italian peninsula. And as you guys can see, even though we are investing 100% in devotion, we are still making money, which is really nice. And what I'm going to do, right off the bat, request military sponsorship. This will cost us 2.78 diplomatic capacity. It's a lot of diplo capacity, but it's worth it. They will pay me 0.45 ducats per month, so about half a ducat. And will spread all of its institutions towards us as well. The later institutions, which are over in the Iberian Peninsula, will hit him first, and then will come to us from there, instead of having to travel all the way through. The absolute best way to see who will pay you is by going onto the diplomacy sub-tab here, and obviously you will immediately start from here. And then you go to actions, economy actions, and then you scroll down to request military sponsorship, and you just have a look on this mode. Obviously you want to start with the bigger, richer nations first, but there are other nations like, say, Venice, which will give us 2 whole ducats a month for half the price that the Pope costs. We will temporarily go over our limit. I don't even know if having the Pope is the best course of action here. I'm just double checking the buildings we have, and obviously since we are an order, we have unique capital buildings, so order headquarters, which give us 20 manpower, and allows us to recruit regiments there. I assume this is the theocracy version of a sergeantry, I think it is. Beyond that, yeah, we don't really have anything else. We have like the basic stuff, so that's okay. Okay, so my ruler has unfortunately passed away. I'd rather go with him, if anything. He's got the most evil. Oh, and there you go. Now he is our Grand Master. He is East Franconian. I will not adapt to local culture. So I can get the law of common tongue. Okay, this is our first historical event. As the Knights Hospitalier becomes a destination for all Crusaders willing to fight for the Catholic faith, our home island of Rhodes needs to adapt so as to be willing to accommodate more believers. To fulfill that goal, the Order is willing to spend some of the accrued, I think that's accrued, wealth for the construction of a new church. 10 devotion is helpful for at 45. Yeah, we're just gonna. Now we have 2 diplomats. I'm going to spend one to increase our relations with Naples, and the other one will be sent to build a spy network in the Mensids. We are also not over diplomatic capacity anymore, just from our ruler's ability. Our last guy wasn't the best, so having someone who's got better diplomatic ability is very helpful in this, and has allowed us to be able to do all this without going way over. Okay, I'm going to construct a call. That way I can move my troops from this island to the mainland, or my troops from the mainland back to the island. The cog is a great transport ship, and we've started with a galley. As the knights, you can either start with a cog or a galley. Just always build the other one to what you got. So if you got a cog, build a galley. If you got a galley, build a cog. Oh, the Germanids just lost both of their vassals. That's very helpful. That is incredibly helpful. That means that a lot of this Greek land can actually be freed. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed the Germanids lose these vassals. They start with 0% loyalty. I've never seen the Germanids actually manage to keep these vassals, but knowing my luck, the second I start this campaign, they would magically keep the vassals. He is really close. Hungary is unbelievably close, but Hungary is really expensive. Since we've started as a Crusader nation, we have this special unit type, Crusader Knight. I mean, they're pretty much the same, but they have, so they have an extra row of stuff. They don't take as much morale damage. Now, we're gonna have to save up, because unfortunately, they are quite expensive. I also want to be able to make a few regiments of horsemen, due to cavalry being just amazing in the early game. It's unreal how good cavalry is. I'm also keeping my eye on the bottom right here, and just making sure that that spy network is below 20, because the second it goes to 20, I want to immediately start creating the casus belli to destroy threatening rival. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing. Kingdom of Hungary, they would accept and pay us a ducat and a half a month. However, because it would put us in a deficit, they won't do it. The Papal States aren't giving me a lot. What about now? Would that still? Yeah, just had to wait for a month to take over. And now we can do that. We'll get paid a lot more than what the Pope was paying us. And we will still be under. So yeah, now we make almost 3 ducats from diplomacy, which is really nice. Now we have positive stability. We can put that all the way down. Yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference. Maybe it's worth putting it to like 0.5 so we lose like nothing. We're still getting more money. That's what important part, is we want to be making enough to at least put a few more regiments down, since we have the manpower. So our first parliament, let's see, we're gonna put it in our capital, and we're gonna want to go for whatever's biggest here. We can move 7 stability. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna ask for a rule change here. Instead of favoring the clergy, we're going to favor the ruler to give us a little bit more power. Then we will try and get back up to 50%. And ask for better taxes. Oh, and then embezzler, so our tax efficiency is down. That's so bad. I think that's like one of the worst things they could have gotten here. I don't want this law to pass at all. I don't want anything that's going to give money to pass. I will give this to them. They have 1% power. So empowering the Estoy really isn't a bad thing here. In fact, I'm going to start improving relations with Castile. And then I'm going to request sponsorship from... Yeah, I'm going to request sponsorship from the Naples that will pay us more. No, we are under by quite a bit as well. I think we can do at least one more. Now we're making 5 whole ducats a month. So we've got this event here about a holy relic being discovered. Now, this was discovered in Constantinople because we have some holdings in Constantinople, apparently, that you start with. Now, our clergy wants it back, like burned, because it got lost, so it doesn't align with our religious doctrine anymore. But our people still consider it canon, and the clergy will let it slide if we accept. Now, even for the in-game reasons, having a masterpiece work of art is going to help so much with our cultural tradition, since we're going to lose a lot from the Eastern Roman Empire's collapse. We are going to have all the culture conversion in the Greek lands. I think it's more worth it to do this. Why would we need religious influence? I don't foresee us needing it. Okay, there's only about 500 Frenchmen left in Rhodes. I think it is finally time to switch to the convert model. And then I'm going to see if there's anyone better. There is no one better for the job, because we're such a small nation. And now that we've broken it off, we can re-request military sponsorship with the Pope, and he will pay us more. It will put us over, but it's not too bad. We already had low crown power. We already have a little bit of antagonism. Don't have any subjects, and prestige isn't a big deal for us because we're not in the Holy Roman Empire, so... Oh, France will accept giving us military sponsorship. We're a lot over, but I'm going to ignore that. And just focus on the big green money symbol instead. We have 20 spy network. Unfortunately, I don't have a diplomat yet, so I can't switch over yet, but I'm very close. And then we will switch to creating a casus belli once we have a diplomat. And now we have that casus belli, there's no reason to have a spy network for them anymore. Okay, now we are in the Age of Renaissance. We are going to go down the administrative focus just because the religious casus belli here is actually not that bad. It's not the best, but it's one that we'll probably most likely be using for a decent amount of time. Also, mercenaries might be needed. We can ask the Pope for some money, and another stack of Crusader Knights, and that should do it. Then we're just waiting, pretty much. They have 2,000 men, all of them being levies, so this should be enough to win a war against them as long as we don't have any alliances. An alliance would really throw a spanner in the works here. Okay, their alliance with these guys, who have another 2,000 men, again levies. I don't know though, I would probably like to get another stack. Ah, here we go. As mentioned in the intro, in 1291, it fell to the Mamluks, and then they retreated to Cyprus and later Rhodes. We will always remain Crusaders at heart. Yeah, we have claims on Antioch right here. I only did it for army tradition, to be honest. So just opening the formation here, we're gonna put it like this for now. There's no point in balancing out our sides. I don't think, at least not until we get at least 2 cavalry. Never ever click this, because as much as yeah, it would help, he can deny it, I believe, and then we dislike it, he dislikes it, we dislike each other. It's just not worth it. Honestly, what is a lot more worthwhile is just doing what I've been doing, sitting back, asking money this way, and just taking it slower, just a lot safer as well. The second regiment armored footmen. Let's do this to start with, and then we'll see how that goes. And we'll move our men over to this island. If you move your men here, they could. There's a land border, so they can move here. That's what we're gonna do. Unfortunately, still in an alliance, but at war. So we will declare this war. Right. Always go back through, and then as you can see, this land border here, we're gonna charge our capital just immediately. I'm gonna head over to here. Now we have professionals; they don't. No matter what, they will be losing a lot more than we will. As you can see, they lost 1,000 men. That's half of their entire army dead. We aren't even losing anyone now, and they're losing 50 a turn. So they've lost 1,000 men as well. So I hope this shows everybody the power of just regular armies compared to just levies. Levies are so much weaker. We're gonna send them back home just while this fills in. And then we are gonna preemptively improve opinion with the Eastern Roman Empire. Even though they're about to lose this war, there is a very, very good reason why we're doing that. We are about to take a lot of mostly Greek land, and the only dominant Greek culture nation near us, or in general, is the Eastern Roman Empire. So they will get very mad at us, and it's also their core land. So again, they will get very mad at us. So we kind of want to stop that from happening, and that is both of them fully occupied. Now, immediately we're going to take all of that. All of that. Oh, just out. Okay, unfortunately that's all we can do. But that's like the coast anyway, that's all we really want. Get some gold. And first peace deal. Immediately. Just so much bigger. Now we're bigger, we're going to take him off of stabilizing. And we're going to put him on integrate. We'll integrate this one. And in fact, because he's on 80%, it's mostly Catholic. Excuse me. he's also going to be integrating. That should be done soon. You do not want to create vassals here. You do not have the diplomatic capacity to create vassals in this land, so just don't even try it. Okay, we're gonna rival these guys now. And like I said, Eastern Rome very angry after a lot of antagonism just right off the bat. We're not going to get coalition, but it's a lot of antagonism to just be taken immediately. We are also going to want to take out these guys fairly quick because they have a lot of claws of our land. So if we do not take out these guys, they could, you know, war us and win it all back for very cheap. The Knights Hospitaller unique advance has been researched. Okay, so obviously first things first, I'm going to go down to efficiency of the cabinet. Unbelievably helpful for what we're going to be doing. And then we're going to go down to the religious war casus belli. Then we'll be going down to the legislative efficiency. That will help us pass laws, change stuff up. Then army initiative. Then we'll be taken to here for when we do eventually make vassals when we're able to. And then finally we'll go down to monthly prestige. As you can see, the integration for both of these areas is going to take well over a decade. So by that time, any and all Turkish patriots would have rose up by now, and by then, probably maybe even twice. So you're going to want to keep building up that army, not to expand, but just to consolidate. If we don't have an army able to defend our land, then someone else will just take it. It is mostly Greek, I believe. Yeah, mostly Greek, about 80% everywhere. So the uprising won't be too bad, but it could be pretty bad if we don't build up enough troops to counteract it. Looking at the year we're in, creating a hospital here seems like the best choice. It will help us a lot when the Black Death comes. So, and I believe it's for free, so. Okay. Create that now. Which will bring our number of regulars up to 2,600 men. And the Black Death has spawned. Obviously back in the Golden Horde. Luckily we have now got a hospital in Rhodes. Okay. I had a temporary little break to do some editing just so it doesn't catch up on me eventually. I was thinking about it a lot. We definitely want to take this chunk, so we want to be able to get a pathway up to this chunk, because then we can begin to invade the Eastern Roman Empire. Disengage this French one. Yes, it'll temporarily put us in a deficit, but if I starve all my people, we will be fine. Because I've sacrificed one of my sponsorships, I can now create a tiny, genuinely tiny nation. So here, which should do. As I always do, it's a vassal, so we're gonna do this. I'm gonna check, it's Greek and it's Catholic. Beautiful. Yeah, it does well. It's awesome. We are in a slightly bad position, but I could sacrifice. It's about the same. It is so slow. This is gonna take a while. Okay, isolate the country. We'll put cure remedies. We're at -7 stability. Sponsor mass forgiveness. And then we'll go into hiding. Here we go. We've created a nation against us. Where is it? Oh, wait, what? No, it's just not popping up yet, I guess. Oh, it immediately disappeared. Okay. Yeah, order commandery. So I can build these, and it gives me cost money then. Okay, and we'll just build them. It'll give us manpower, and it'll give me some money. It should give me enough money to flip this whole thing, hopefully. Oh, 75? Yes, please. Attack certain rival CB. I might be able to set a piece as well. We'll charge down their capital. Yep, they are immediately sacked out. I think this is... No, I also have to take it. Not to be worried about anymore. And this is on their land. Oh, that was a stack like. Yep, threatening. Okay. Attack threatening rival CB has been created. This was no trouble. This was immediately stacked like, so. Yep, there we go. Now, let's have a look at this land. The land itself. Great. Yeah. Okay, so we want this. Who would we get a thing? Crusaders, Eastern Rome, Ottomans. None of these guys are actually strong enough to do anything. At a second. So I'm just gonna do this like immediately. 3, 2, 1. 100% more support. Beyond all the Turkish states I plan on invading anyway. No one seems that mad. So why not? End of the Black Death. Nice. There we go. There we go. Unbelievably good there. And create another provenance. Only 5 years. I kinda hope to be only 5 years. So we'll do that. Okay guys. This is where part 1 will end. This is the foundation of something that will become much, much bigger. We're on the brink of getting an Ottoman casus belli. We are about to go to a war with the Eastern Romans, or to war with Serbia, maybe even Bulgaria, solidify this Western Anatolian region under Catholic Greek rule, and from there form the Latin Empire. If you decide to do this playthrough with me, then feel free to send it to my TikTok. I respond to most DMs I get on there.